All right, welcome to my basement. Work is being done. Here's your big update. I'll explain to you what's happening. We got some guys working down here. They're laying down, basically starting to build the foundation, getting everything finished. There's gonna be a lot of work being done, and it's gonna be awesome. But this is just the beginning. This is day one. So there's still a lot that hasn't been done that needs to be done. But here's a view of what it looks like. And now let me, there's gonna be walls here. So you're not gonna be able to do this in the future, but this is gonna be a nice little room here. All right, we're gonna start doing podcasts in this room. And let me explain to you exactly what the update is. So I know a lot of people are like, what's going on with this channel, Tim? You didn't produce? Well, I'm talking to people, we're gonna be hiring them, and we're gonna be building this stuff out. It's gonna take a little bit more than a month and a half. But yes, there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. This is cool, man, I'm stoked. This is the first time I've come down after they started, and you can see the wood along the walls. And you can see where the doors are gonna be and where the walls are gonna be. And now we're back again. So this morning, I gave you that first update, then I did all my work, and then I came back down. Wow, this is crazy. Look how much they got done. This is amazing. We are gonna have, this is gonna be, I'm so excited, you guys. You have no idea. So listen, I'm actually gonna do a sit down and give you a breakdown of everything, but what I wanted to do is, I wanted to come down when the guys first started work. They've already done the framing, that's so amazing. And then I wanted to come back down once they finished for the day. I don't even know if they're finished for the day. I don't think they are, because they left all their stuff here. Maybe they're just getting lunch or something. But I finished for the day. And so now I want to give you a rundown of where we're at, what's going on, why it's happening, why there aren't more videos. Remember, just a minute ago for you, I was walking through this. Now there's frame. That's so cool. Imagine this. So we're going to have storage. You can see the furnace and all that. But this big space here, look how much space we have. It's huge. We're going to have a set probably over here. Maybe not because of the windows, but we're going to figure it out. Let me get out of here. Let me go back to the normal space where I normally film and give you guys an update on what's happening with this channel and what you can expect to see in the future. So I'm back up in my normal shooting space, and I want to give you guys an update on everything's happening. So you saw the basement. Look at all that work that was done. That was really, really cool. And a lot of people are angry. They said, Tim, you did this van video, and you're going to be doing all these things. You talked about going to the border and doing field journalism, and then something happened. Well, Subverse is doing really well, and we needed a space. So we started looking into purchasing a new office so that, you know, it saves money in the long term. And yeah, we want to set up an office so we can start hiring people and working on shows and podcasts and documentaries. Unfortunately, over the past couple months, I've been working on a couple different options, and they ended up falling through at the last minute. However, being that I am not a moron, I prepared for the worst. And so our ultimate plan B was, if we couldn't get these spaces, we would build a set in the basement. So that's what you're seeing. We're going to be having a space. There's going to be a little podcast area, and there's going to be a shooting space so that we can do shows. It doesn't mean that we're only going to be doing, you know, sit-down conversation shows like I'm doing. I'll probably end up moving everything I do down there and have like a real set behind me. We'll see what happens. Subverse is going to be primarily focusing on a lot of the on-the-ground reporting like they've already been doing. So that's not going to change, but we're going to be expanding. And that means we need places where people can work. So for now, the worst case scenario is in the next 5 to 6 weeks, this is going to be this is being built, and by the time it's done, then we're going to have a new space to work and expand. Unfortunately for this channel, it means that I'm not. I can't just leave, right? So when we started looking at buying this building, I was stuck. I'm also trying to find somebody who wants to produce and travel. There's a few people I'm working with, and the goal for the IRL channel, this channel, is going to be traveling around a lot. During the 2020 cycle, yes, a bit of politics. I'll be talking to people, we'll go to these cities where the politicians are touring. We'll talk to people. That's my ideal. It's ideal. It's what happens. But also doing some less political stuff, right? So we will travel around. We will follow politics. But every so often, you're going to get, hey, our day didn't involve too much politics. I did all my shows on my regular channels. And then you can watch us go to Dunkin' Donuts or something. Just like regular vlog stuff, right? However, I want to make sure we do a bit of travel fun and explore interesting stories. With that, one of the shows we're planning for this new space and this new podcasting space is going to be an unsolved mysteries show, probably co-hosted by me sometimes with some other people. And I'll tell you exactly what I want to do with this channel and the podcast and expanding Subverse and stuff. Have you noticed that like all news all the time is somehow related to Trump, the Orange Man, the culture war or something? Everything's always about it all the time. Like I open up the Hill and it's like Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi. I look at BuzzFeed and they're like, we just did a documentary tracking down white nationalists and all this other stuff. You look at CNN, that's what they're hiring. You look at Brian Stelter's show, it's all the same thing over and over and over again. So here's what I'm hoping we can do with Subverse. We'll see what happens. Covering stories that aren't about politics, like, you know, what happened to actually going and exploring interesting characters, character-driven stories? Maybe there's a guy who lives in the woods who's like experimenting with energy weapons for a weapons contractor. Nothing to do with the apocalypse and riots and civil war and Trump and none of that. Just like interesting stories where we meet like, you know, the jungle man of, you know, Northwest Oregon, and it's a guy who like Tarzan. It's weird stories, you know, just interesting things about the world. Everyone's getting super wrapped up in the same narrative. So that's one of the things I'm hoping for, and that's another thing we're doing with this Unsolved Mysteries show. So we actually have a script. We've had it for a while, and we did set up a podcasting room. But again, like getting the space built and the set designed is consuming all of my time outside of actually, look, I record an hour and a half every day. I got to do all the research, and then after that, I'm dealing with this. But the Unsolved Mysteries show is going to be great. Did you know that a couple months ago in Oregon, Northwest Oregon, that's why I mentioned it, right? Some cattle ranchers noticed their bulls, a couple of them, were completely exsanguinated and had body parts surgically removed and blunt force trauma on the underside of their body. You know what that means? Something drained their blood, removed body parts with precision, surgical precision, and then dropped them from a large height. How does that happen? It's weird, right? So the idea is, we're not going to be some kooky conspiracy nonsense. It's going to be like skeptical, rational conversations around these stories. And that story, as you know, is tied to the Chupacabra legend. But it's still happening. So we want to do a kind of timely, relevant series where we'll talk about mysteries, you know, be it like murders, ghosts, whatever, aliens, just interesting ideas. And the idea is to bring a few people on, some skeptics, some idealists, some dreamers, some conspiracy people, where we can have an interesting conversation between someone like me who's very skeptic, you know, very skeptical of all of these stories, and would say it's not aliens, it's more likely to be a cult, or, you know, someone stealing body parts makes more sense. And then having some, you know, kooky person being like, nah, man, aliens, right? Just for entertainment, for fun conversation. So we're going to be doing that. There's going to be, ideally, some interviews as well. And that requires, you know, a booking person. So again, it all comes down to, we need a space, we need workstations. We've got a couple workstations now set up. Now we need the production space. So we wanted to buy a building, it didn't work. We're now going to resort to using my house as a temporary, you know, hold. And then hopefully in the next 6 months or so, we actually do get to expand into that building and then actually start bringing on a lot more people. That's when things start getting fun. 2020 is going to be a really, really big year for politics. So I don't want to act like we're not going to do any of that. We're certainly going to do it. But you may have noticed that if you go to Subverse, you're not going to get inundated with Orange Man stories, be it Orange Man good or Orange Man bad or Nancy Pelosi good or Nancy Pelosi bad. No. You're going to find people going on the ground in Hong Kong, Barcelona, France, and that's what we're looking to do. We're looking for a lot more of that. So, you know, I will say, although I'm not in charge of editorial for what Subverse is doing, I'm definitely going to be allocating as much as I can towards it. So one of my missions with this channel as well, we're going to be on the road, and you may actually see behind the scenes of like a mini documentary production. So like I mentioned earlier, we want to do stories for the mini docs that aren't about the apocalypse and national level politics and culture, maybe just like character-driven stories. And so the behind the scenes stuff, while we're going and producing it, might appear on this channel. That's like another mission. So I will say, I apologize for, you know, not getting on the road and doing the van channel like I wanted. It's priorities, you know. I think the most important thing I can do with my time is make sure the mission of producing fair and balanced news, I said that on purpose, you get the joke, but you know, to the best of our abilities takes precedent. So, you know, you've seen the clips of the basement, it's getting built. In the next 5 or 6 weeks, we're gonna have a set. Everything's going to be more professional, prettier. That's going to allow us to expand. It's going to allow us to license content. There's a lot of reasons why the content I produce on YouTube can't be used by TV networks. And so if we can expand that, we can generate more revenue, hire more people. And that's the process of doing business. So for the time being, I'm stuck. Stuck in my house, filming as I was, no longer in the theater. We need our own space. It's very complicated, but in the end, it's the best we can do. So if somehow you've managed to make it this long, subscribe to this channel. I know a lot of people are upset. Here's your update, and I apologize that, you know, look, by not getting on the road, it's actually causing problems. I got to winterize the van now, which is unfortunate. the van is built, and now I can't just hop in the van and use it because I have obligations, and I think we've got a bigger play at hand. But the good news is we haven't stopped the on-the-ground reporting. Subverse has been, churning it out and doing those non-Orange Man reports. I've been doing everything I've been doing. We've been working as hard as we possibly can to make sure we can expand this right. And here's your latest update. Day 1 of construction. It's been, so let me just wrap this up. When I started preparing the van channel, it's the same time I started entering negotiations for some properties. At the same time, we started working on the plans for the house so that we knew if one fell through, we'd have the other. Sure enough, the sale fell through. I'm I'm kind of upset about it, but it is what it is. At the same time, though, permitting process, negotiation, all the stuff that had to be done was done. And now, seriously, 2 months later, we've broken ground on the first phase of getting this done. So thanks for hanging out. Here's your update. I'm going to try and get this channel updated as soon as I can. I'm talking with a few people to produce vlogs. We've got some cool stories planned. Trying to do it. But I'm not going to do a vlog of me just sitting here all day reading news. So this is what you get. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you all next time, and I'll let you know when this channel gets more updates, but hopefully it will be soon. Adios.